Hey, my name is Kevin. I'm a fashion and lifestyle photographer based out of Phoenix. My photography journey started when I was very young. I would take photos of my family constantly. I was always the designated photographer and videographer for my family. And I didn't realize it was a true passion until my friends introduced me to just taking photos of literally anything during high school. And that's when I downloaded Instagram and I was just enthralled by photography. And then fast forward to college was when I realized I could make a living out of it. And I just have been shooting ever since. It's been about 7 years. And I've never let it go. My type of photography, the style that I like to do is purely based off of my personality and my expression at the time. A lot of the times I'm very happy when I'm shooting and I'm very excited. So you can kind of tell by the range of how dynamic the photos are. They're very moody. I really like the moody style of photography. I like invoking some sort of emotion in the viewer. That is the whole basis around my photography. I like the art of expression. My creative process is very sporadic. My mind isn't really linear, so I can get an idea from right now. The season is spring, and I really enjoy these trees because they're yellow and there's all these yellow leaves, and so that in itself can inspire me to do a shoot with a model. And recently I shot with a friend of mine who's wearing a white gown. She was in the backdrop of these yellow trees, and it was just very beautiful. And so the spring inspired me. So I'm just constantly inspired by the present moment and how I'm feeling. And certain artists that inspire me are Frank Ocean. He himself really expresses himself in a very raw and present way, and that's something I want to portray in my photos. And so that's what goes into my creative process. The reason I became an artist, growing up, I've always been artistically inclined. I would always paint on my off times. I had a lot of time alone when I was younger, and that time was taken up by drawing and painting. And at one point in my life, I had a flute and I would play that all the time. Because I've always been artistically inclined, I feel like I've always been an artist. I've always chose to be an artist because that's just who I am. And that's how I express myself. One message I want to send to the audience when I take photos is to freely express yourself 100%. Artistically, that is the best way to showcase your work. Full expression, being transparent with yourself and other people is the best way to show your artwork. And that's what I try to do within my artwork as well. I love creating because creating is the one thing that helps me process what's going on. If I'm having a bad mood, I can go out and I can create, and it creates it opens up my mind and my heart, and it allows me to see a situation from a different angle. Creating also it's a part of me because when I create, I feel like I'm being myself. And so in turn, creating is just a part of me doing what I love to do. The hardest part about being creative is, in my opinion, consistency. There was a year where I shot for I did 2 shoots. And so, because of life and stuff like that. But I think that is the biggest thing with creativity is being consistent with it and being disciplined with it and actually showing up. Yeah, consistency is the biggest challenge for me. A typical day of creating for me looks like I look at the mood board, I go to the location, and I try to visualize how it could look like during the shoot. And during the shoot, I try not to put too much emphasis on the structure of how it should be, but I try to let it just flow and work itself out organically. I feel like that's the best way to go forward into the shoot. I love working with the team on a creative project because I'm able to bounce around ideas, and when there's a collaborative effort, you're able to incorporate many different ideas. For example, the hairstylist is able to see something different. The makeup artist is able to see something different. And so having those different perspectives creates something bigger than if it was just one person doing it. Art influences the world, because art is a form of communication, and that is the biggest part of like our human experience, which is communication. And so art has the potential to spread awareness for something good or bad. And we see art in every situation, even if we don't know it. For example, like even this couch that I'm sitting on is a form of art that someone created and someone bought. Art has the potential to influence people positively, negatively, or bring awareness to something that needs to be brought awareness to, and like, or even like empower certain people. Art is literally a way of life, a way of everyone's life, whether they know it or not.